Welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
You showed up smiling to the studio today, bro. You showed up looking happy, bro. Big win as Atletico Madrid gets a 5-2 victory over your biggest rivals, Real Madrid.
Dude, we embarrassed them, man. We embarrassed Real Madrid. A huge win at the Metropolitano for Atletico. This game was manic. And honestly, I'm still decompressing. I'm still fully processing exactly how I feel about this win. We scored 5, bro. We scored 5 goals.
On Real Madrid.
And this was honestly our first real good result of the season.
Yeah.
We have not had an actually good result all season long so far. And we finally got it. And it was at home against our biggest rivals, Real Madrid, 5-2. There's so much to unpack, but this game was all over the place, man. We open up the scoring. Lenormand gets a really nice goal, 1-0, but then Madrid get 2 bangers from Mbappe. Goulet, my goodness, what a finish from Arda. They make it 2-1. At this point, I'm like, fuck, this is the Atleti. This is where it's gonna go all wrong, bro. This is how the season started for us. And we equalize, make it 2-2. And then from there, the second half was history, bro. It was it. Julian Alvarez, we get a penalty. We can talk about that moment in a bit. But Alvarez starts us off. He scores another one. And then Antoine Griezmann with the cherry on top gets the 5th goal. And it ends up being an embarrassment for Real Madrid.
It was harder to score in Mallorca a week ago, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This game was very interesting.
And that's what I love about this game. It was so chaotic. It was so manic that I'm struggling with takeaways here. Was this more of a one-off second half Simeone masterclass where this team just got amped up with that amazing crowd, by the way, incredible atmosphere, and they just took over in the second half with Julian Alvarez going God mode, and then Real Madrid essentially just shutting down? Or is this a sign of, things to come? Is this somewhere where Atleti can pick up off of and continue going forward? Can they get back into potentially that 3rd or 4th place spot? There's a chance, bro. There's a chance now.
Oh my God. Here's what I do want to say though. What a performance from Atletico. I think it was because of the pressure that they applied to Madrid is ultimately why Madrid crumbled, man. And
yes.
I knew Atletico were going to hit hard from the get-go. We were at home. This is what we do, especially under Diego Simeone. And we performed our plan perfectly. We sprinted for the entire 90 minutes. Somehow, some way, Simeone made Koke look like he was back 24 years old. Because for Koke to come back in this lineup when he hasn't even really been playing, first off, shocked me. But he provided a beautiful assist on that second goal, and he was flawless in this match. Alongside Barrios, too, it was a perfect midfield performance from the pressure perspective for Atletico. And then from the wings, we got what we usually get. Non-stop running from Nico Gonzalez, from Simeone, from Llorente. It was a perfect physical performance from Atletico, and it ended up being why Madrid couldn't play their football, man. Madrid, every time they got on the ball, there was an Atletico player to hit them really hard. Madrid couldn't make even more than 3 passes to get past our defense, and when we got on the ball, our passing wasn't necessarily exceptional, but we were aggressive. We were so physical, so athletic. We ultimately suffocated Real Madrid, and it ended up leading to 5 goals scored for Atletico. The pressure was simply too much for Real Madrid, and that's all full credit to Simeone and his plan and the execution of the players out there on that day.
This game could not have been more perfect for Atletico Madrid at the end of the day with the players that scored specifically, the way you guys scored those goals. It just was a picture-perfect type of day. Atletico ultimately could not step a foot wrong.
And in the first half, if Soltero had his shooting boots on, dude, we could have had 7 goals total in this match, man. It was a perfect day for Atletico. And I think for as good as it was for Atleti, dude, it was just as bad for Real Madrid. Dude, this was the worst defensive performance for Madrid I've seen in the last 2 years. This was as bad as I've seen them defensively. Carreras looked like he forgot how to play football, bro.
Yeah.
He was awful. Valverde on that last goal for Antoine Griezmann from Baena, Valverde with an errant pass. I don't know what that was. And the center backs, the performances from Militao, even from Asensio when he came on, and also surprisingly from Dean Huijsen.
Yeah, he got outmatched, man.
Dude,
yeah.
Every cross that went into the box, I can't picture a Real Madrid center back winning that matchup. And some of them were really simple crosses too, but just the physical presence of Atletico caused the Real Madrid center backs, the Real Madrid defense to absolutely crumble. They got crippled by the pressure of Atletico.
Is it a cause for concern for Real Madrid? Because after this result, got a lot of messages from you could say Barca fans and people interested in the game. Many people hate watching in this game. You know, obviously there's agendas that are important here.
Yeah.
Real Madrid losing this game is very important, but a lot of people were saying that, you know, at the end of the day, this is the first good team that Real Madrid faces off against since that loss to PSG in the Club World Cup. Lots of people not surprised by this loss, honestly, because maybe it showed a limitation with this current Real Madrid side, but more specifically, I think it exposed that there's something weird going on in that back line. They've got issues right now dealing with injuries and with the backups that are not having to step up and start in those positions.
No, absolutely. I think there's a major issue for Real Madrid. Essentially, if they play against a good team, it's going to be difficult for Madrid. We already kind of saw this against Marseille, where they had to get a lucky penalty to ultimately beat them. Marseille, very, very organized. They would later on to get a result against PSG in Ligue 1 after that match. And here against Atletico, a team very organized, very similar to Marseille, where they also utilized pressure to attack their opponent, Madrid crumbled again. So I think this is a cause for concern against Madrid. Effectively, as we saw in the Club World Cup and as we saw against Marseille and Atletico, if they play against a collective team, Madrid's going to struggle. I will say for Madrid, couple interesting things from Xabi Alonso's perspective. Surprised he started Bellingham, considering the form Mastantuono had been in. That surprised me. Bellingham obviously coming off of injury, to immediately put him in the starting lineup, knowing who Atletico are, I thought that surprised me. And Bellingham could not get into this match at all.
Julian Alvarez, man. What is becoming of this kid? Because I think he's even improving more beyond what we've seen so far every year since he entered playing at the club level in Europe. He's gotten better and better. Yeah. He's already been arguably top 5 striker in the world, even just going into the season. But it feels like he's in a new gear, bro. It really does. And what does that mean? What does that mean for Julian Alvarez? Where is he in the conversation now, bro? Because we're seeing Haaland and Harry Kane go crazy, go nuclear. Does he enter that conversation now? Or is he like the clear third best goal scorer in the world right now?
I think when it comes to Julian Alvarez, you just have to watch his gameplay, because I think honestly he could get more goals at a different club. And the fact that he's scoring this many goals for Atletico, I think is a sign of how good he truly is. When you look at a lot of his goals, they really are just pure individual talent. And I think that's what makes Alvarez really, really special. He doesn't really need to be fed. He doesn't really rely on his teammates to make him a good striker. He actually makes his teammates better midfielders.
True,
he makes his teammates better wingers, because his running is fantastic. He has a knack for goal. He's a fox in the box, but he's also deadly from long range. He is a perfect striker, in my opinion. I consider him to be one of the very best in the world, kind of regardless of how many goals he gets.
Don't get offended. Just a question. Does he deserve a different club?
And I'm glad you asked, because this is ultimately why I'm not head over heels on this result. It's a good win for Atletico, but the thing is, we always do this. We're actually unbeaten against Real Madrid over the last 2 seasons. The year that Real Madrid won La Liga and the Champions League, we beat them 3-1 in the league.
Wow.
So this is nothing new for Atletico. We show up in Madrid derbies. But here's the thing. Last season when we went unbeaten against Madrid, we finished 10 points behind them in the goddamn table. We finished 12 points behind Barcelona. The title race wasn't even close for Atletico. And we were leading the table halfway through the season. So here's my point for Atletico. Here's what I want to see. I need to see these type of performances be played out over a long, extended period of time. Otherwise, we're going to end up 10, 12 points behind first place in the table and we'll finish third place. I want silverware, bro. I don't want to celebrate these Madrid wins anymore. I want something more. I think when I look at the players that we have, when I look at the coach that we have in Simeone, I don't think I'm asking for anything that crazy. I want a title race. In April, May, I want Atletico to be right there in the conversation of, can we actually win La Liga? So yes, this is a good win, but it's September. We have so much more work to do, especially considering that this is our first really good result of the season. We need to rinse and repeat for the next 6 months.
Yeah, my problem with Atletico is very similar in the sense that the highs that I've seen out of them this year, playing up to Liverpool's level at Anfield in the best of moments, Llorente looking like a baller. That comeback against Rayo Vallecano, those last 15 minutes were relentless. It was pure Atletico pressure. Then I would throw in this second half against Real Madrid. The highs look incredible. I see a team that can challenge for silverware, can challenge for the trophy, could even challenge in the Champions League if they play like how they played against Real Madrid. It does concern me when I look at their lows, dude. Their lows are way lower than any other elite squad in Europe has. Bayern's lows ain't nearly as bad.
Exactly.
Shit, even Dortmund's lows might not even be that bad, bro. Because, I mean, that Rayo game really concerned me. Tommy Mallorca, those type of results are what really concerns me. That needs to get cleaned up, and I feel like that can get cleaned up. I feel like that can get fixed. The team can be much better about being more composed, being less prone to getting surprised on the break and having these weaker teams that just shouldn't be able to have those tight matches with you. That should be able to be avoided by having more offensive prowess, which hopefully we'll see with the return of Alex Baena and soon Thiago Almada. But then maybe just having that cohesion, that chemistry together after playing together for a while now and getting in the groove of all these new additions. I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but for sure, that low level that we see Atletico reach has to stop being seen, because the highs are really good, bro, and it can make for a really fun, competitive team. You just got to tap into that more.
Absolutely. And I think the key for that to happen is for Simeone to let the offense loose. Really play a more risky style of football, because last year Simeone really tried to compensate by relying on the defense to win us games, but it just didn't work. We just conceded too much. And as we've seen to start this season, we're still conceding. So our defense isn't going to fix this problem that you've made everyone aware of. It has to be our offense to score more goals. And the thing is, considering the signings that we've made this offseason, now I expect our offense to kind of reflect the signings. I need more goals, because it's goals that are going to get Atletico back in this title race. It's not going to be our defense.
With this result, Atleti now lands in 5th place in La Liga, 1 point behind Elche. All of a sudden just popping up.
Elche popping up, man. We got to see what they're up to.
Undefeated.
Yeah, it's
3 wins, 4 draws for Elche. We'll talk about them soon. For now, we got to talk about the new league leaders. Real Madrid losing this game, thus meaning that Barcelona, with their victory against Real Sociedad 2-1 today. You obviously had the return of Lamine Yamal today, playing a big influence in that second goal for Lewandowski. Koundé scoring the first goal, header, nice finish. Barca getting the victory, 2-1.
Yamal's back, baby. And it took him a minute to get involved. Taking
a literal minute,
taking the Sociedad fullback to... Sorry. Taking the Sociedad fullback... Jesus,
no, okay. Where are we going? Where'd you take him? Where was he taken? Because I saw him get taken somewhere. I just don't know where.
Taking the Sociedad fullback to the shadow realm, bro.
Yeah.
Immediately provides the assist. And Yamal's back, bro. And it's such good news. This is what I wanted. This is what I know we get to see when Barcelona play. Yamal's one of the best players in the world.
Can't get tired, bro. I can't get tired of saying it and seeing it. It's so clear the impact that he has and how fun. It's just so fun, bro. It gives me similar Steph Curry NBA vibes, dude. When I just watch him play, you just get so excited to see what he can do, even if his dribbles aren't successful or, it doesn't end up assisting or scoring on every play. It's just fun, bro, seeing him try these outlandish things and be really good at those things. I think he megged the Sociedad fullback twice in this game, bro.
He did.
Twice.
He did.
You can see the frustration on their faces. Pedri, too, I think in that midfield doing typical Pedri things, but at a very, very high level. For what Yamal is doing offensively, Pedri has been doing in the midfield, and it is a key for why Barca are now the league leaders in La Liga and obviously one of the best teams in the world.
No, 100%, man. And kind of continuing this youth trend for Barcelona, we saw a debut from Dro Fernandez, who played kind of in that pocket role that Dani Olmo usually plays when he's on the pitch. And honestly, not a bad debut. I liked what I saw. His influence wasn't very high, and I think that's just going to come with more experience and more playing time. But the touches looked exceptional, and he seems to have a really good flow when he starts combining with his teammates. So I think Fernandez, maybe not this year, maybe not even next year, but if Barcelona keep playing him like this, just, in these one-off games when Flick needs to rotate players, I think Dro Fernandez could be a really exciting midfielder alongside Pedri in the coming years.
Yeah, that's exciting for sure. And I think the offense for Barca, even with, you got Rooney getting minutes in this game in the first half, I think it's really, really cool. Rashford almost got a goal too. But I am concerned, or rather, I'm tired of seeing Barca concede first. I'll say that. I'm tired of seeing them concede first like they did today, like they did last week. They constantly put themselves in situations where they have to pull off comebacks. It just isn't ideal in my opinion. And secondly, I already miss Joan Garcia, man. I already miss him, bro. He's going to be out for a minute. I saw 4 to 6 weeks, but I don't know if it could be worse than that. For now, I'm hoping for a shorter timeline. But we saw Szczesny get back in goal. And not that he had a bad game. I think I like the security I have when I see the opposing team get into Barca's box. I like seeing Joan Garcia between the sticks, knowing the skill and talent that he has, both on the ball, but also as a goalkeeper. Don't concede first, bro. I'm getting tired of that. Shore that up, bro, especially if you're trying to become a title-winning side. They might be able to get away with it because we saw Liverpool do that last year in the Prem where they conceded first a lot, but eventually that gives, bro. And whether it's in La Liga or in the Champions League, I don't think it's a good sign they're doing this so often, man.
I thought about this too, man. And I think this is the problem with La Liga, though. I really do think this is like a systemic problem with the league, and it's something that I think we'll continue to see. La Liga teams, obviously very talented, very skillful. The goal Sociedad scored today, really beautiful build-up play, and the entry ball into Odriozola was perfect. It's perfection. And that's what you get in La Liga. Even with like an out-of-form team like Sociedad, they still score pretty goals. I think the problem with a lot of La Liga teams, though, is the game management over 90 minutes. And I think Barcelona know that. They know that they don't have to really go into top gear, and they'll figure it out. I see Barcelona not have to go into the gear that we saw them play against Newcastle.
Oh, yeah,
that was a completely different gear that Barcelona had to tap into to beat Newcastle United. Whereas against Sociedad and against Real Oviedo on Monday, Barcelona kind of just strolling, bro.
Dude, 100%.
They're strolling. And the thing is, they can. And I think the players themselves are fully aware of it. And it makes sense. The more that I think about it, the amount of games that Barcelona specifically have to play, dude, you don't want to go into top gear against Sociedad. I wouldn't do it. And I got frustrated last year seeing Barcelona be complacent. But when I really think about it and I saw them go all the way to the semifinals in the Champions League, I think La Liga is where you get your rest. And let's just be as real as we can about it. I actually don't mind it anymore. Now, if I really think about the players and their well-being, their health, it's La Liga when they get the rest. And that's why the win for Atletico diminishes even more, because Madrid's not going to get caught out like that against Elche. We're not going to really see that for Madrid other than in the Champions League. So La Liga's a weird league. It really is when you really look at it like that. So for Barcelona, yes, I think they can work on a couple things, but I think the work will mainly be done in the Champions League. Big
news just for Barca as a club. Sergio Busquets announces his retirement at the end of the MLS season. I wanted to bring it up. Arguably the greatest defensive midfielder that I've ever seen. I don't know if I can name a better one in terms of longevity and just ability at the highest level, both club and international. Busquets announcing his retirement. Going to finish off the MLS season with Inter Miami. Hopefully it ends with some silverware. That'd be really, really cool. But damn, it's going to be weird not seeing Busquets play football anymore, man.
Dude, is he him and Suarez? Is Busquets? Because that entire team's like basically retired, right? Outside of him and Messi.
Yeah. Xavi's out. Iniesta's out. Puyo's out, Rafa Marquez is out. I mean, he played with so many different
Valdez.
generations of Barca players too.
Yeah, man.
That's the thing. Piqué's out.
Yeah, exactly.
Ter Stegen is on his way out too. Yeah, but Busquets really is one of the last remaining ones from the Barca sides, and then also the 2010 Spain tiki-taka side. He's definitely one of the last ones there too. So shout out to one of the greats. Is he your greatest defensive midfielder of all time?
You're asking the wrong guy, bro, because when I grew up watching Barcelona at that time, I hated them. Because I was in my early days of Atletico, and I really, really went on the passion side of things. So I hated those Barca players, man. And Busquets was one that I particularly hated because he was impossible to fluster. Yeah. And especially Atletico back then, we really thrived on flustering our opponents' midfields. We couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
And it really, really got to me. Kind of the same way Dani Carvajal, how...
that one's worse, man.
Carvajal was one of the most annoying fullbacks to play against because he always broke us. Yeah. Always. Same thing with Busquets. We could never really pressure him the way we could any other midfielder.
I think he's the best I've seen. I can't name a better one, dude. Or rather, the ones that I've seen in recent memory haven't had the same type of career resume as him, too. Because that's what he has. He's got a World Cup to his name as well.
He's got everything.
You know, because you could mention Rodri as of right now. Rodri doesn't have that World Cup yet. Has a Euros, but I think the resume that Sergio Busquets has built is what differentiates him. And the time that he was at the top of his game, for how long he was able to make that last, I think is truly spectacular. Sergio Busquets, a legend. That's the news for Barca. Were there any other notable results in La Liga this weekend?
Notable?
Villarreal beat
Athletic,
yeah.
Which I think is notable in the sense that I think Athletic are definitely out of the top 4 race. They just have been getting really shaky results these last couple of weeks. Whereas Villarreal, outside of the Atletico loss, they've looked pretty good. And I think Villarreal will be a fun team this year.
Let's move on over to the Premier League, where we had a couple of games in our weekend preview. I'm talking about the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game and Arsenal versus Newcastle. But we had great results, important results all around the league. But we obviously have to start with the 2 undefeated teams going into this weekend. Liverpool facing off against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park and seeing an absolute party for Crystal Palace fans as they defeat Liverpool 2-1 in a scoreline that I think is very, very favorable for Liverpool. Very lucky scoreline when you look at the game, because this, brother, could have been 3-0 by 30th minute.
3-0 by the 30th, 4-0 by halftime. Yep. If it wasn't for Alisson, who honestly made 3 of the craziest saves
God bless
all
that man.
Week long, bro. Maybe for the season, he's so far made the 3 greatest saves. And it all was for nothing because of a stoppage time winner for Crystal Palace.
That was kind of annoying. That was a kind of annoying part. You know, if we're going to keep it close, at least get a point out of it. At least. But at the end of the day, it is deserved, though. It's deserved for Crystal Palace, dude. They should have left this game with 3 points. They would have felt hard done had they not done that. They deserved the 3 points. The crowd was incredible. And the performance, bro. The performance, mesmerizing, dude. I love how calculated they are, man. It's like they all as a unit know when they're going to attack, when they're going to hold off on attacking, and let the opposing team get sucked in so that they can then just completely surprise you, bro, like a cobra. And then you got guys like Mateta to feed up top who, from any angle, can get a good shot off. It's ridiculous, bro. It's actually very scary. I can't believe what Glasner has built with this Crystal Palace side. This was a statement victory. 18 games unbeaten now. Are they genuine title contenders?
I think so far we could say so. I think the question is now, let's tune in every week to see Crystal Palace, because if they play like this, man, I think they can beat pretty much any team in the Prem. Like, truly, truly. And they've already proved it by going unbeaten so far. Very good start for Crystal Palace. I think they've only done this once, maybe twice before in their entire history of the club. What a result for Crystal Palace. And yes, for me, it's the style. It's how they're getting it done. It kind of reminds me of prime 2014, 2015 Atletico, where they absorb a lot of pressure. But when they do get the ball, when they win it in the midfield, they are clinical. They are precise in how they attack you. They have tremendous pace on the wings with Ismail Assar, but also Yeremy Pino, man. One of the better wingers in La Liga. He's now here with Crystal Palace. immediately inserting himself into the side, and he's perfect in this role. He's so aggressive. He's nonstop running out on that left side. But then up top, dude, I said in the preview, Mateta is underrated as far as his hold-up play, his ability to play with his back to goal and combine with his teammates, and he's got the perfect runners either side of him. It's fantastic. And the midfield, man, Wharton and Kamada, I thought had tremendous games. Wharton with his calm presence, nonchalant style of midfield play, and then Kamada's box to box, always feisty, always trying to win the ball back, but he also can get involved offensively too. So this Crystal Palace side, there's so much to love about this side. And then you got the wingbacks and Mitchell Munoz. It doesn't stop, bro.
No, bro.
This side is so fun to watch. I cannot wait to see what they do. It's early, but if they play like this, if this is their true identity, I'm hoping for at least a top 4 finish for the side, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Even if they're not title contenders, I could see them being this year's Nottingham Forest, where they're competitive every single game. It is hell going to Selhurst Park and getting a result. And I also want to highlight Chris Richards, bro.
Yes,
it was a great weekend for Americans. This Pulisic going off, and we'll talk about that. But Chris Richards doing the same thing, but defensively, dude. That is an elite performance that we saw against one of the best offenses in all the world. Him, LaCroix, and Gahey are an incredible back three that I think is just the backbone of this squad.
Great.
Crystal Palace, man, what a result. I was honestly just so impressed with what I saw. But also, in a way, I was awaiting a result like this to happen to Liverpool where we eventually lose a game. Because once you lose a game, that's when you start asking questions. That's when you really start seeing, okay, what's not working for us? Because it's not like we were tying games. We were outright winning games, getting 3 points. Now I got to ask a few questions because
Okay.
It's been interesting, Florian versus performances, man. It's been
so
really
interesting. Now you're on it.
It's been interesting Isak appearances so far. I'm not really on the whole Florian versus thing fully. It's more so as a team. It's been interesting Mo Salah performances, bro. Nowhere near as deadly.
You're right. You're right.
Something's going on, man. Something's going on. And I wish I could actually look at you guys and tell you what it is. I don't know what it is, bro. I really don't, because I really feel like the next week we could absolutely go off, get goals from each one of these guys, and it's happily ever after. But for right now, I'm a little thrown off by the lack of killer instinct that we have offensively, man. And it sucks because we have probably the craziest lineup in terms of names up front that we've had in years since the Firmino, Mane, Salah days.
Damn. Yeah, 100%. I think I'm going to put a lot of this on Verts. I think I'm going to put a lot of this on Florian, man, because he's essentially ineffective.
So far,
yeah. Right. I'm not saying he can't change, because his talent, we know he has, sky's the limit as far as his potential. But if Verts is playing the way he's playing, you're effectively missing a man in your front three. And I think that puts more pressure on Salah, which it doesn't help his case. And it puts more pressure on Isak, who's just making his first couple of appearances for Liverpool. And I think Ekitike getting that red card, I think, was huge too, because I think if Ekitike does play, Ekitike's been brilliant. He's been so clinical up top. But since Verts isn't performing, whether he's playing out wide or he's playing in a pocket role, you're not getting anything out of him. So you're playing with a man down offensively. And I think that's why we're seeing Salah struggle. Whereas, last year, Luis Diaz, every single time he was on the pitch, he was doing something.
Yeah.
He was doing something. Oh. And when Verts is on the pitch, you're getting the exact opposite from him. So it's early. I'm not saying Verts is a bust. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying so far in the last 4 weeks, Verts has been ineffective offensively for Liverpool.
I just can't figure out if it's because of for lack of skill and the physicality of the Prem and adapting to a new league, or if it's for a lack of chemistry and having these offensive players get rotated in and out so much. Playing with Isak after he got used to playing with Ekitike, playing in the left when he typically plays in the center. You have Gakpo there instead. I do feel like he's not being set up for success fully. Obviously, for that price tag and for the talent that I've seen, it's always been outside of his teammates. He has that ability within himself to just pop off and go crazy. I'm a little disappointed that we haven't seen that yet. But I don't know what to pin it on so far, because I do think I think it's a lot of this mixing up that we see offensively that so far has worked because we have incredible talented players individually, but offensively I don't think we found the right combination of front three, front four players. I think of all the players involved, Wirtz is the one getting most affected by that.
Yeah.
Constant rotation and, having to kind of shift up your role every single game. That I think is playing a big factor in why he's playing that way.
And it'll be really, really intriguing to watch Wirtz play for the next 2 months, honestly, because this is crucial for him to build the chemistry with his teammates here. Because if Wirtz is flourishing, then I think Liverpool can go all the way in every single competition that they're participating in. So if Wirtz can find it within himself to live up to the price tag,
right,
then I think Liverpool have solved everything. So this is going to be a really interesting next couple of months. The season's just started. That's what I love about this, because Wirtz has time.
Yeah.
There is time. And the thing is, when Ekitike, Soboslai, Gravenberch are all picking up the pieces, well, then maybe Wirtz does have time to figure this out. That's why I'm not raising any sort of alarm towards Wirtz, towards Arne Slot, towards Liverpool. But it would be nice if he figures things out.
Yeah, I want to see Wirtz do something big. Right now, he's Lil Uzi Wirtz. Right now, he's Lil Uzi Wirtz. I need to see big Wirtz. The good news is, for any neutral fans out there that are just watching the Prem for a good time for a competitive matchup, is that we got a title race, baby.
Yes, sir.
We've got a title race. With this loss, Arsenal was given a monumental opportunity to make up for that loss against Liverpool, make up for those 2 points dropped in that Manchester City draw, to make up the ground and get closer to first place and maintain themselves in the title race in a tough matchup against Newcastle United at St. James Park. And very similarly to this Liverpool Crystal Palace game where we saw a last-minute goal to give Crystal Palace the victory, Arsenal maybe jacking away that Liverpool late drama antics, jacking it away for the weekend, borrowing it and utilizing it in this game with Gabriel scoring the game winner to give Arsenal a 2-1 victory.
What a cross from Odegaard, though. It was inch perfect, right on top of Gabriel's head. All he had to do was redirect it goal bound, and that's exactly what happened. He rose up big and tall against Big Dan Burn. Arsenal 2-1, a massive result, especially knowing that Arsenal knew Liverpool had dropped points.
Huge.
So my heart was pounding because obviously I'm an Arsenal fan this season.
Yeah.
And I really want them to succeed because I think they have what it takes to make this a title race. This was so crucial that they got 3 points against what I consider just to be a decent Newcastle, not a great Newcastle side. So if that's what I consider them to be, Arsenal had to win this game. And by the grace of God, or more specifically by the grace of Martin Odegaard, what a comeback, because apparently Arsenal do need this man on the pitch. By his grace, Arsenal get 3 points.
But that's the thing, man. It's the fact that they came back from being down 1-0. This was probably the most important result I've seen so far from Arsenal this season in terms of my perspective and what I have, my thoughts towards this Arsenal team. This is huge. This was big. This is a statement victory, bro. Comeback victory away from home. I mentioned in the preview, St. James Park, even if Newcastle United isn't this grand team, is a tough place to play in. For the third straight game, they've made it competitive against an elite squad. They just can't give those fans what they came to see. That sucks for them. That's their own narrative. That's their own thing to worry about. We're focusing in on Arsenal right now, who had to come back after being down 1-0 to a beautiful Voltemade header. I'm starting to really like seeing Voltemade score goals, man. It's fun. He fits that Newcastle aesthetic very, very well. And that's now 2 headers in a row. I think that's how he scored his goals so far in the Prem. Beautiful to see. But Arsenal gets back into this game, and I like it. I ultimately really do like it because at least somebody's showing up, bro. You see that Chelsea result? And I want to get into them. I'm just saying.
I saw it.
When there's all these other Prem teams falling short already this early, I love that Arsenal was able to get this result and say, you know what, we're up for it. We had a couple of weird results in the past couple of weeks. At the end of the day, it was a tie against a solid Manchester City team and only a 1-0 loss to Liverpool. We're still good enough to compete for the title. And I think that's what this victory said to me.
Oh, 100%, man. And when I really look at what Arsenal have already been through this season, what Liverpool have had to deal with this season, We're only 6 games into the Prem, but it feels like we're 30 games in right now. Dude, this is one of the most high-pressure starts to a Premier League season probably ever. And the way Palace is trying to say, hey, we play really good football too.
Sunderland.
That's the thing. You look at it, Tottenham have dropped points that you probably would wish that they didn't. But now they're only 4 points behind Liverpool. This is going to be a crazy... I think you said at the beginning, greatest Prem season of all time,
man. Greatest Prem season of all time. We're seeing it happen. It's coming to fruition right now with so much money being invested in these teams.
Exactly.
And that just delivering an insane product. I'm glad that it's gonna be close, bro. It's gonna be hell for all these teams involved. Even Liverpool, man. I think it's gonna be a very dramatic season. Huge win for Arsenal. Wanted to quickly highlight other results in the Prem. Brighton defeats Chelsea 3-1 at Stamford Bridge after yet again another red card for Chelsea that dooms them in the game and sees Brighton get the result. Coming off of a result where Manchester United had defeated Chelsea in a very similar manner. That's 2 huge losses for Chelsea. 8 points, 8th place in the Prem.
Yeah, sometimes your worst enemy is yourself.
Yeah, that is the takeaway, huh? Yeah, I think they're out of the title race.
No, not yet. They're not out just yet, bro.
God damn. Well, remember that I said it in week 5 was when I announced it.
Exactly. You said week 5. You said
remember that.
I remember. They're still in it.
Brentford defeats Manchester United 3-1. Brentford masterclass as they now have 13th place and they take over Manchester United in the table. Manchester United now in 14th place. They're losing to Brentford, bro.
But that's United's real level. Mid-table. They're mid-table, bro.
That's crazy to me. Let's move on over to a huge title clash in Italy where we had AC Milan go up against Napoli at the San Siro. This game was previewed to be a huge, huge game. This was like the Oregon Ducks facing off against Penn State this weekend. 3 seed versus 6 seed, right? Huge. Big stakes, big spectacle. Just Italian, but with an American presence. Because on a pitch where you have names like Kevin De Bruyne, on a pitch where you have names like Luka Modric, it's Christian Pulisic who ends up putting in an incredible performance, assist and goal to give AC Milan the 2-1 victory over Napoli, who was undefeated going into this game, who are the defending champions. Milan announcing themselves as a team to watch in Serie A, a team that has officially returned from the low points that they reached last year, brought back to life by the guidance of a kid from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Statement win in Milan. Dude, this was the loudest I have ever heard the San Siro in my 15 years of watching football, man.
It's been years.
I cannot believe what I heard throughout the entire 90 minutes. Even in the second half when it got a little shaky, Estupinian getting a red card, Napoli trying to come back, getting a goal, having 30 minutes to try and equalize the game. The Milan fans didn't get scared. If anything, they embraced this challenge that Napoli gave to them, and they came out on top. What a result. What a performance from the entire Milan squad. What a statement win. Max Allegri. I love that he's the coach for Milan. And Christian Pulisic with a goal and an assist. A statement win for Milan and one of the best performances from an American player in Europe. And probably ever, man. The way that he's playing right now, I think, he's got 30, 37 goals, 25 assists, and 105 appearances. It's ridiculous.
I saw this question on an Instagram reel. Is Pulisic the best player in Serie A right now in terms of form?
I think the answer is easily yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know who else has scored that many goals in Serie A right now.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Hoyland? I think he is, man. I think that's crazy.
Dude,
that's crazy.
The first assist. Marianucci gets really tight on Pulisic. Pulisic with a really deft but aggressive touch turns Marianucci, but he still has to sprint like 25 yards. He beats him again when they meet after that heavy touch. Pulisic then continues. He puts in a nice drilled low cross shot to find Salamakers on the other side. That was all tenacity. That was all determination from Pulisic. It's beautiful to see. He's so so dynamic. He's so aggressive. And then the goal he gets too, really composed, making sure he gets a lot of power behind the shot. Christian Pulisic, bro, 10 out of 10 performance today.
Yeah, it was 10 out of 10. He was crucial to this victory. Sucks seeing him get taken off early. But ultimately, it ended up being the right move. They got the result, so I can't blame Allegri for that decision. But he was cooking, bro. He was cooking. And if that red card hadn't happened, I would have been excited to see how he could have broken down this Napoli defense in that second half as they got more open, trying to get back into this game. There was that red card from Estupiñán, bringing down Napoli's player in the box who was about to rebound the ball back into the net. Had to be done. Red card. Kevin De Bruyne steps up, scores a nice, clean pen. But Napoli ends up falling short here, man. They were pressuring AC Milan's defense for the remaining second half, but to my surprise, AC Milan held up, bro.
Yeah.
They held up. And this was a defense that I remember being very prone to leaving gaps open and being exposed last year against much worse teams, bro. So the fact that they were able to do this against the defending champions and with the form that they had coming into this game, this defense is much, much improved. And as I mentioned in the preview, bro, that midfield, I can't believe how much they revamped it, but also how much it's shown that it was worth to do that, because you got great performances overall from Modric, Salamakers, who scored the first goal, and Rabiot and Fofana, man.
Dude, it's pretty ridiculous seeing Luka Modric play today because he was probably one of the better midfielders on the pitch.
That's crazy.
He's 40. And last year with Madrid, he was barely playing, thinking that he was going to retire at the end of the season. He was like, no, you know what? No, I'm going to be a starter at AC Milan.
That's crazy.
And now they're top of the table. It's
That's crazy.
so cool to see.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think Milan, this team specifically under Allegri, have shown that they're here for the title race this year. And I think this is going to make, I guess, the most competitive league in Europe all that more exciting now, because, I mean, if Juve are playing, decent football right now, if Milan's playing the best football we've seen them play in over a decade, Napoli are still going to be in the conversation, Inter Milan are still going to be in the conversation. We have 4, maybe 5 title contenders so far, and Roma also off to a perfect
I need to
start.
check out Roma. I haven't seen a Roma game so far, but I think that's the next thing to check out because they're in the mix. They're in the mix. I agree, bro. This league is going to be really, really fun. I just wish for all the players that I just mentioned from AC Milan, I wish I could be as excited for Santi, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even going to give an analysis because the people know. I think everybody knows why Santi hasn't been successful, why he can't find the rhythm with AC Milan that he found with Feyenoord, and why he can't do that with the Mexican national team either consistently. We all know why. So I'm just going to give you an emotional take, which is, I wish he was doing more, man. I wish he was doing more.
No, don't give me that.
I do, bro. I wish he was going off like Pulisic right now. I wish every time I saw an AC Milan game, it was Pulisic assisting Santi Jimenez. Or it was Santi Jimenez bagging 2 goals, Pulisic hat-trick. Some Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland type chemistry. But instead, every time I check in, bro, it's Pulisic, assist, goal, assist. And Santi Jimenez, 6.2.
Yeah.
I want more, man.
That's been Santi's narrative ever since he debuted at Cruz Azul, was I want more from Santi. That's been the label that everyone's attached to him since he began his footballing career. I think reality just has to set in and understand the type of player Jimenez is. That's all I'm saying. Let's just get real when it comes to how good Santi actually is, and you won't be hoping anymore.
It's just he's 24, man. When I was 24, I didn't know shit. If he was like 32, then yeah, I'm ready to give up. But
there's an annoying stat right now tied to his name. He has missed the most big opportunities so far in Serie A. Yeah. He's missed the most.
Hey, at least he's getting into positions to have those opportunities. But that's who else has that type of stat? Darwin Nunez, man. That's a Darwin Nunez type of stat.
And I'm not a big fan of Darwin.
No, I know, man. I know. And I was starting to see some similarities. But hey, he scored a beautiful goal against South Korea for the Mexican national team. I mean, I'll take it. But damn, man, I just wish he could be bagging in goals like how Pulisic is doing right now. Because the rest of AC Milan looks incredible. I do think they are title contenders.
And Leao's back as well. After coming out of injury, made an appearance today in the second half. If Leao gets going alongside Pulisic, Milan's only going to get better. There's also another unbeaten team right now in Serie A. Cremonese are unbeaten right now. Just want to point that out there. They're in 7th place, though, because they've drawn a lot, but they've yet to lose. And another fun fact, this is the team that Jamie Vardy joined in the offseason.
That's crazy.
So he's here, not really playing, but he's on the bench.
Wow.
And Cremonese off to a very, very interesting start so far.
Yeah. And once again, I saw Juve drop points against another undefeated team, Atalanta. But look, man, I wanted more from Juve this season. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted more, man.
They're in the tie.
You gotta beat Atalanta. Man. You gotta beat them, bro. You can't be dropping points like this. Can't be dropping points like this.
This is the most competitive league in Europe, bro. This is what you get, man.
All right, well, the Hellas Verona one was the one that pissed me off, man. Can't be tying them, bro. Where are they at? They're on 16th place, all right?
Verona also tie Cremonese. They're good. That's how good this league is, bro. 16th place is good.
Get me out of this league, bro. Get me over to Liga MX, where we had Tijuana host Cruz Azul. Going into this game was undefeated in Liga MX and one of the top teams, obviously one of the biggest contenders, and still one of the biggest contenders as they visit Tijuana to get a result against a feisty team without the wonderful Gilberto Mora, who, by the way, Mexico's U20 tied Brazil today, who are the odds favorite to win the tournament, tied them 2-2. Gilberto Mora essentially getting 2 assists in that game. Beautiful to see from my youngest. I'm just checking in on the boys. Absolutely. As a lot of Mexicans are excited to see what this U20 Mexican side can do at the World Cup. Great start so far against one of the toughest teams. Shout out to them. And Tijuana kind of carry that spirit of Gilberto Mora in this game as they got a 2-0 victory, but with a big talking point being that Rodarte red card early in the game.
5th minute. Damning for Cruz Azul ultimately, as they were down a man for the entire match. The question is, was it a red card? I say no.
Way too harsh, bro.
Way too harsh. It's anti-football. You don't respect the game, I think, if you give a red card like that, because when you look at it, it's so soft. The contact just doesn't even really make sense to give a red. Yes, the stud hits his foot, but look at how the contact was made, man. It just doesn't make any sense why you would give a red. And what's even crazier is they took 5 minutes to call the ref over to review it with VAR, and he still stood to maintain the red. Yeah. Made no sense. 0 out of 10 from Liga MX refereeing in this match.
It's still frame refereeing is what I'm saying, where you go based off of the still frame that you see. Exactly. You remove context. The still frame looks ugly, bro, come on, man. Where else is he going to put that leg? He's kicking a ball, bro. You can't stop your foot. You got to let your foot follow through. And you watch it in slow motion, it makes it look like he left the foot on there and he pressured and shit, but in real time, it looks so natural to me. Yep. Incredibly harsh call that really put Cruz Azul in the dust in this game. I mean, the moment that happened, Tijuana, I was expecting them to take over in this match and get the result. And ultimately, they did with 2 really solid goals. The first one being a deflected goal that unfortunately went over Kevin Mier. Tough way to concede. Deflected goal is one of the worst in football, in my opinion. So tough to concede if you're a defense. But then that second goal was a beauty as the Cruz Azul defender got dispossessed in the box. Nice quick pass into the middle. And it's the Moroccan scoring a nice slotted finish to make it 2-0. Cruz Azul really didn't have a chance.
They just didn't have a chance. But credit to Tijuana, because when the red card did happen, they didn't really take their chances and say, okay, let's just see this game out and see if we can get the result. They attacked the entire half. They really went for it. Couldn't get the goal, honestly. Cruz Azul did well to defend down a man, but they get it right before the half, and the game was pretty much done at that point. The second half was the same thing as the first half. It was all Tijuana, with Cruz Azul just performing damage control.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm being honest, bro, my biggest takeaway, or what I liked seeing the most out of this game, was the retirement of a Mexican legend, bro. Jose de Jesus Corona, Chuy Corona, 753 games played as a goalkeeper in Liga MX. The LeBron James of Mexican backup goalkeepers. This guy was as good as it gets as a backup goalkeeper, and heavily underrated in my opinion, as he lived in the shadows of greats like Guillermo Ochoa, Conejo Perez, Osvaldo Sanchez. It's why he never truly got an opportunity with the Mexican national team, because when you look at his numbers, only 54 appearances with Mexico in what's like a 25-year career. It's crazy. And you can argue that he was never truly good enough for that level, but I think back in his prime, bro, I think he really was a top 3 goalkeeper in Mexico. There was just always somebody better, with Osvaldo Sanchez in the 2000s and then Guillermo Ochoa in the 2010s. But man, this guy was so underrated because I remember some of my fondest memories with Chivas was seeing us defeat Boca Juniors. I talk about the results so much when we defeated Boca Juniors 4-0 at home and then went to La Bombonera and got a 0-0 tie in that game. That was back when Mexican teams could play in La Copa Libertadores, which is really, really cool. But it was also back when you could loan a player, you could borrow a player for just a specific time that the tournament runs. And in that tournament, we were able to acquire Jose de Jesus Corona from Tecos to come play a tournament with us. While he was actively playing for the other club, he comes and joins us, and he puts in 2 goalkeeping masterclasses in a tough atmosphere at La Bombonera and then at home as well, as we got a 4-0 result. It was Jose de Jesus Corona who was between the sticks, not my beloved Osvaldo Sanchez in that game for Chivas. And from that moment on, man, I came to like this guy a ton. I just never really saw it come to fruition in the sense of World Cup appearances, but he deserved the credit, he deserved the praise, and the longevity, bro. 44 years old.
Yeah.
44. I think that might be the oldest player I've seen play, bro, because even the Fabio goalkeeper, he was like 41 or 42 when I saw him, man. 44 is crazy. Played 7 minutes in this game. Gets subbed out, but announces his retirement. And wishing him well, man. That's a legend right there, Jose de Jesus Corona.
Yeah, really nice touch to do it against Cruz Azul.
That too.
That's really, really
That
nice
too.
touch from Tijuana. Really beautiful moment to see, absolutely. That's crazy. So was Sanchez injured for that Libertadores?
I think so. I think he was injured. Yeah.
What a get.
I know, man. It was a young Jose de Jesus Corona, bro.
Crazy
a
lore.
young one. They could have played a half, though. They didn't have to take him 7 minutes after, bro.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Like when
it's a goalie, bro.
I was like, the defenders should do most of the work, so like let him just do the half.
Dude, especially with the red card happening so early. That should have been a sign like, oh, I guess let me play the whole game then.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy my last time stepping foot on the pitch. Yeah. Nah, after 6 minutes, they pull his ass. You're done. Yeah. He wasn't even on the bench. He just like left. So... yeah, I guess once you retire, you don't have to do any of that. Let's do awards for the weekend as we close today's episode out. We got goal of the weekend, performance of the weekend, and game of the weekend. Let's start with performance of the weekend. What was the best performance that you saw this weekend in club football? Is it an easy pick, such as Pulisic, a man who was possessed against Napoli? Could it be Luka Modric, who was great in the midfield? Could it be Gabriel scoring a game winner? Could it be Julian Alvarez looking like Pitt from Smash Bros out there? Glorious, angelic.
Yeah.
Huge performance. Where are you going on this one?
As individual performances, I'm going Pulisic. Milan do not get that opening goal if Pulisic is not on the pitch. And then he still has the quality to get a goal himself. He, once again, was the architect offensively for this Milan side. He's the reason why Milan get the goals. Give me Pulisic, best performer of the week.
I'm going Pulisic too. I wanted to go Julian Alvarez, but... more players beyond Julian Alvarez scored in that game. Pulisic was responsible for both goals. That says it all. Pulisic, the performer of the weekend. Let's go with goal of the weekend. Who had the most beautiful goal? I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to pick your boy Julian Alvarez. Free kick goal and then the Simeone reaction afterwards. Yeah. That's peak football, bro.
That's what. The free kick is my favorite goal of the week.
Peak, man.
Ridiculous skill, bro.
And that's crazy because there were 2 game winners that happened this weekend in the Arsenal and Crystal Palace game. But this one still wins it, bro. It still wins it.
Yeah.
This is the toughest one. What's the game of the weekend, bro? Is it Atleti's insane result over Real Madrid, which I'm sure was very personal to you? Yeah. Was it Liverpool Crystal Palace in an insane atmosphere at Selhurst Park? AC Milan Napoli, Arsenal Newcastle?
Damn.
This one was jam-packed with great games, bro.
Honestly, I think this is just completely personal because most of the games had some sort of crazy intense narrative attached to them, and we saw it play out. I mean, I got to go Atleti, bro.
Okay.
I got to. It's just such a big, big win for us. And for me, now it gets me hopeful because if we can play like that, then I need to see it week in, week out, bro. And it gets me excited because maybe we can. Maybe this is the year where we find some consistency. So let me dream a little bit, and I'm going to go game of the week, Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, in that sense, huge because, bro, if they had lost, I don't want to imagine how you'd be on the show. It'd be bad for the show. I'm going AC Milan Napoli. I actually was very surprised to see the atmosphere that Serie A produced for this game. It made it feel like vintage Serie A, bro. And it excites me for what this league has to offer going forward. Definitely a must-watch game. If you didn't see the game, at least watch the highlights. That was my favorite game with that Milan crowd going crazy. Folks, this is the weekend recap. Let us know down below what results stood out to you. What did you think about Atleti winning? What did you think? What did you think about that Pulisic performance? If you saw, let us know all your thoughts down below. And we'll be back this week with UCL coverage. We are the Give and Go on the Vamos Network. We will catch you guys very, very soon. Peace.